All right, Metal Monday, March 1st. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm excited. I mean, the February's over, onwards and upwards to March, and let's get this party
It
started.
is crazy we're in March. It's crazy the run we've had so far this 2021. Um, and I mean, copper came off, last week. I mean, it probably hit its peak. Was it Tuesday when we hit that peak?
Wednesday, I
Was
think.
it Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
So Thursday, Friday, it really came off
Yep.
10, 20 cents?
Yeah,
You know?
from like 4.35 to
hmm
at the peak somewhere in that range to 4.10, somewhere in there at the on Friday.
Yeah, I think it's still around 410. Kitco has it 415 right now,
Yeah.
but still, I mean, shoot, 6 months ago, we would have, begged for 415 copper.
Oh yeah, dude. We have no.
So,
If you're in the scrap business and you're complaining about fucking $4.15 copper,
Yeah.
then I'm sorry, but like you're barking up the wrong tree.
so we've been seeing a lot better flow. We've got a few electricians that we took care of last week. We hit them at the top. We got them locked in because you were able to move some material at the top, so we're able to pass that value back down to the electricians that we took care of 15,000 pounds in one day, and he saved it. He told me he saved that stuff for 2 years.
Yeah.
So that guy, you don't always win like that when you save for 2 years, but that guy won.
That guy's probably was prepared to save for 8 years.
Yeah, he could have.
You
He was
never
building a
know.
new
It's
property.
one of those. Yeah, it's one of those deals. So for us, I mean, the good thing about higher prices is it does bring some of those deals out of the woodwork that you've been kind of working on or chasing or didn't maybe even know of. But hopefully, this market will sustain itself. I remember sitting here about last February, March, and we were slapping hands and talking about how great. And all of a sudden, COVID was starting,
Yep.
and then, man, it was a shit show. We had jobs going on everywhere. We were in Denver, scrapping some windmills.
We
had a lot going on, and all of a sudden, it was just like the music was about to stop, and everybody's looking for a chair.
We were in Texas filming a podcast, and this is right after we locked in a 100,000, 150,000 pound copper, kind of a contract, more of a verbal type deal.
Yeah.
I remember we're like, God, the market's kind of taking a shit today. And then
Yeah.
we were in that Romton podcast for 2 hours.
Uh-huh.
By the time we got out of it, copper was down 25 cents.
Yeah.
And then we were already, so we were all happy. We were like, oh, we got 150,000 pounds of copper locked in.
Yeah.
And then we didn't have our price locked in, but we got to honor our word.
Yeah,
If
I
you
know.
you can't stand on your word. You ain't going to be in this business long.
No. And we bought all of it, and we took a bath on it for a while. But the thing that we did differently, I think that, well, we didn't hedge it. And I guess maybe that's an argument for the hedgers out there. Pete Thomas, I got you.
Pete,
But,
probably listening.
Pete, we should have hedged it. But at the end of the day, we actually came out better because we actually didn't hedge it, and we just sat all the way down to 2.
Yeah.
And we rode it all the way back up, to a pretty good price. So we came out. It worked in our favor, but there for a while, it looked like it was gonna be a tough one. It wasn't gonna be good.
It's just funny. You put things in perspective. It's easy to get down on the market or down you're like, shit, we lost 30 grand on that deal.
Yeah.
But when you put it in macro perspective, it really can for me that helps me dial myself back in. And I'm like, God,
Well, dude,
we
I
lost
totally
that
forgot
account.
about that. You just brought that up. I fucking hadn't even thought about it. I was already thinking about March this year, trying to figure out what we're gonna do. So
I just kind of put things in perspective.
that's
I'm like,
good.
oh, now things are great, and even back then, things were still good. I knew we'd come out on top. We'd have to be patient and sit, but everything else looked strong. I mean, I'm looking on my phone right here. Platinum, palladium, rhodium, still just.
Yeah, they took a bath on Friday. The precious metals did, silver included. They're making a comeback today. Copper is kind of hanging around. It came up a couple cents.
Mm-hmm.
I think that nickel's getting stronger. I sold a bunch of stainless on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
At a number that I hadn't seen in a while, so I felt pretty good about that. I think that market's got room to run too. Ferrous prices are going to come up this month. I don't know how much, but I'm I'm anticipating, I'm hoping that we see back to January pricing. You know, at least this month, I think that could be an option. The price of new steel is screaming, which is affecting a lot of the the mill supply. Say like on our corrugated steel pipe business. I mean, supply is getting tougher to come by just because manufacturers that are also trying to buy hot rolled, cold rolled steel are running into issues, which is then jams up any of that coil that they're making steel pipe CMP out of. It jams that up too. So definitely supply chain issues right now. But the pricing appears to be pretty strong going into March, so we're looking forward to that.
Do you ever see mid-month raises on your price?
I've seen it. Mills? Yeah, it depends on the relationship you have with. You don't see it in the steel mill because you lock in your tons out at the beginning of the month. So you if you're going to see mid-month raises, you're going to see them in on the shredder side. So you
see them from the shredders.
Yeah.
But will those steel mills drop you mid-month though?
No, if you lock the tons, you lock the tons. Now what you can do if the market's moving up higher and they anticipate the market moving up higher, and let's say you're going to be able to make your commitment for that month. I have seen, and I think it does happen fairly regularly when the market's moving up, is the steel mill try and get ahead of that movement and maybe buy mid-month, add more tons to an existing contract at XYZ price. So I think that's how you would see that mid-month raise, but you'd have to add tons to the what you had already sold previously.
Got it. I've always kind of wondered how some of those workings go, especially like with when I do hear about a drop mid-month and we're committed. Yeah. It goes back to keeping our word. Just gotta
eat it sometimes. It is what it is. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast for what we do.
Well, cool. Well, next week we'll be able to kind of have some clarity on where March lands, and we'll see where things go.
Yep. Have a great day.
Thanks.